and we're moving swiftly as we welcome a legend of cricket in South Africa, a man who has done amazing things on and off the field and has worked with numerous youngsters across the country and done fantastic bits in numerous spaces. And I look forward to this conversation because our Q&A with our current players, our former players, our coaches, whoever the Q&A guest might be, has been fantastic. It's really worked well in an online space. We haven't lost the juice because we usually do this when we are at the specific venue doing it live. So it gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our former Protea, speedster of note, the man who's clocking high into the 140s. I want to see if it's 150. I'm backing that it is. So, your hands and mine, one of our favorite sons, please start the clapping and screaming for Mfuneko Ngam. Thank you. I love that. You clap for yourself, Mfuneko. That's how much of a champion you are. How's it, brother? You all?
Good, Dylan, and how are you, man?
Good, man. Good. You got my name there, but if you didn't, I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You look very happy. You look peaceful, which is good given that you've had lockdown for 8 months.
Dylan, I'm so excited, man. I work for Border Cricket, so I have to be happy. It's a happy place here. Yes, we've been away from the game for a long time, and yeah, it's been tough, but yeah, we're back now. We're working, so it's exciting times.
Nice. You're working. You mentioned that, which is great to hear. Cricket officially starts next week with a 4-day competition, and then we're faltering down slowly but surely into our first class season, etc. But just from your side, how's lockdown been? Has it been lots of time to reflect, just from a coaching perspective and the way forward, or have you just managed to catch up on all the series that you haven't been watching?
Series is no. Dylan, things we've been doing, man, we've been working even though we've been on the lockdown. So I've been in touch with my players. The guys have been doing fitness, so we've been doing the Zoom meetings. At least now I'm more clued up when it comes to the technology. So yeah, we've been busy. It's been tough because I've missed work. But now that I'm at work, and then it's like I said, it's exciting times.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm glad you figured out technology. It's scary, man. Like the way we've had to adapt. Before lockdown, some of us didn't know how to zoom in and out of a cell phone. Now we're zooming in and out of meetings. It's just such a mad adaptation to the new normal. And then Mfuneko, I just want to look at it from this perspective. What we've done with the Q&A sessions over the past couple of weeks is just getting more inside information and allowing our KFC Mini-Cricket coaches and coordinators to get more understanding of the journey that the player or the coach has had, in your case, former player, now coach. I know we've heard your story, but I'm sure there's lots of bits that we haven't heard. So, Mfuneko Ngam, who is the legend and where did it all start?
It started when I was in Middle Drift. I went to a school called Tildacha Primary. That's when I started playing cricket. Started with mini cricket there. There was a teacher by the name of Mr. Mankai. I remember the first time he called us for trials, and then I went for a trial. And then I was selected, so I was so excited to just play the game. And then I started traveling when I was really young, at about 10 years old, just to go to King Williamstown, from Middle Drift to King Williamstown. It was a big thing for me because we're from that rural area. So, and then after that, then we went to PE, and then after that we went to UNIC. So it was when I started loving this game. And then at the age of, I think I was 11, I moved to PE, where I met Mr. Stima Dwesi, as well as I played the KFC Mini-Cricket there as well. So that journey never stopped. So I really appreciate what those teachers did for me when I was young, to just introduce me to cricket, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been the Mfuneko Ngam who bowled at 150. I would have probably played rugby or other sport. But the love those guys showed, the care. And also there was also food as well when we go and play. So back then it was another sponsor, but now there was also KFC, and so the love they had for us was amazing. And that's one thing I want to say to the KFC coaches, what the guys are doing, especially to those young players, showing the love. You know, some of us, our parents work, so we don't really have our parents coming to watch our games, but now the teachers, they become our fathers or our mothers. So that's amazing, the work the guys are doing.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, thanks for giving us that insight, man, that we wouldn't have been aware of with regards to how it started at school and the teachers that were involved. From a young age, were you always quick? Might be a silly question, but when did that moment happen when you realized, geez, I can knock guys over?
When I was playing at the mini cricket, I was everything. I was an all rounder, so I did everything, keeping, batting. So I thought I was going to be an all rounder, but it's only when I was 16 when I realized, you know what, I can bowl fast. And then I started working towards that. But when I was young, I was just enjoying the game, and the teachers allowed us to just have fun. So for us, it was more just mingling, meeting other kids, just having fun, and then we just enjoyed it. And then I think when I was 15, 16, 17, it's when things started being serious, and teachers started telling us the proper technique, and other stuff. But I enjoyed the KFC, or the mini cricket, because
Yeah.
it was easy. You could just go out and just play. You know, during break time, we just played. So yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the stress of the senior game and all the politics and all the injuries, and it was just having a great, great time. And that's what it's all about, essentially. And I'm sure that's something that you tell the youngsters who you're coaching now, even the seniors. That's the main thing. If you're having fun, your game's going to show that. It's going to translate.
Yes, Dylan, it's tough when you go up the ladder. As soon as you play this game professionally, and then the guys start stressing about the performances, stress about the media, stress about a whole lot of things, selection. So guys don't really enjoy the game compared to when they were young. So if we can bring that excitement to the guys and tell them, yes, you are getting paid. Yes, it's your job, but at the end of the day, you still need to enjoy the game. Of which that's something that is lacking at the moment. So when I see those young players running around the field when we're doing the coaching and whatever, you know, sometimes I want my players to go and coach those young kids so that they can see how excited those young men are, so that they can also think, you know what, at the end of the day, it's only the game.
I hear you. I hear you. And you still sound very calm, very level-headed, which is important when you're in a coaching space. How have you found just the growth for yourself and the journey for yourself, moving through the ranks and now working with Border? What's that coaching journey been about?
Dylan, has been tougher. The journey has been tough. If you remember, I was at the University of Forte,
Yeah.
running the cricket academy there. So the way you transfer your information to the players, it differs as you go up. So at the University of Forte, I was telling the guys what to do, and then give them everything. You know, I was just passing the information. And then I went to the Warriors, or the franchise setup. It's where you start listening to what their guys want to do. Just get the feedback in terms of, okay, this is what we need to do. Because when you're there, you deal with so much egos, guys getting paid a lot of money there. So you need to know your story. So me spending 9 years at the university, and then going there, and then spending that time, so at least I was aware of myself. I knew what, uh, I don't know how to put this, but the confidence levels, when I was dealing with those guys, I was like, you know what, I've been there, I know what I'm talking about. So I would just tell them this is what needs to be done, and they will come up with their explanation, or try and have shortcuts in terms of, okay, no, let's do it this way. And then coming to Border, it's more of the guys that I worked with at the university. So they're part of the Border team, and they know what my style of coaching or my philosophy. So it's easier in a way because they understand what I want and what we need to achieve. Yes, last season we didn't have a great season, but this season now the guys are more hungrier to make sure that we perform better than we did last year. So it's been good. It's been great.
Lovely stuff, man. I love that you mentioned the University of Fort Hare, because we were over the moon and excited that you were involved with cricket from a coaching perspective, mentoring these youngsters. But I love how it set you up. It was such a good base going forward, and allowed you to deal with those professionals during that time. In your new coaching journey, were there any specific mentors that you had, or former teammates or players that you could give a call just to seek some advice from, and you still do till today?
Oh yes, I still do today. I had a guy by the name of A.D. Birrell. He was my coach when I was
Yes.
PE. He's a lovely man. So he went on and coached Ireland, and then he came back. He was an assistant coach for the Proteas and all that. So he's the man that whenever I'm down, or if I need to do something, or if I'm not sure of something, then he's the man. I'll just give a call and say, Eddie, what do you think about A, B, and C? And also the stuff he's done with the Proteas, he will always come to me and say, Gami, here's the information for you. I know the level you're working at this stage won't allow you to do this, but just be aware of what's happening at the higher level. So that also made me grow quicker than maybe other coaches, where I had all the information that the Proteas were doing. So could just level up in terms of, okay, guys, you guys are not working as hard enough, or guys, you guys working too much. So we need to just make sure we cool it down. So yeah, so I still talk to him today. So he's a lovely man.
Lovely stuff. It's also important just to have that shoulder to lean on if you need it. And then in terms of working with fast bowlers, one, we're in a good space in terms of SA cricket. Fast bowlers are coming through the system nicely. I mean, we've got Rabada and Norkia who's cleaning up at the IPL. But in terms of Border, what's the juice like in terms of the future of fast bowling?
At the moment, we do have guys with skills. So if I look in my squad right now, we've got Clayton Borch. He's a quality bowler. He's not too fast. He's just medium fast. He's got skill. We've got Forgela. He's an old man. He's really good. But we do have young players though in Matt Fury and Lilita Reid. Those young players, they 19, no, they're 18 now. So they're still growing up. They're very tall. So those are the youngsters now that I'm working with. Hoping in maybe 2 years' time, then they will be able to bowl 150. Right
Wow.
now, they're probably at 138, 140, 138. So they're still young. So we don't want to rush them too early, because we know the story with me. So I'm trying to guide those guys in terms of, okay, this is what needs to happen, gym work, nutrition, and all that. So yeah, I'm really I love fast bowling,
Yeah.
and whenever I see someone with potential, and then I always make sure that I encourage that youngster to go all out. But again, in saying that, we need to make sure we've got programs in place for coaches at the lower levels, so that the guys don't bowl too much too early at the school level. So we just need to have that combination, or that information down to the coaches, and say, guys, this is the guy we identify as Border, as one of the fast bowlers, and then this is the workload that needs to happen. So if we do it that way, then we will be winning. Because sometimes you get those fast bowlers, but they will bowl too much at school or less at school, and then when they play games, they bowl too much, and then that's where the fractures and happens. So it's more to manage those guys. If you look at Rabada now, the way the guys managed him was proper because he's got a proper family. And then the coaches that he came across were Jeffrey Toyanas, and the guys were also aware of what was happening. So they managed well.
I'm going to jump back into your career shortly because you touched on it, and we can speak about it for days. I get excited. I still speak to a lot of cricketers down in Cape Town when they play the young Mfuneko Ngam, and the opening batsman always say, "We wondered why the wicket keeper was standing that far back." And then Gummy delivered his first ball, hitting the gloves hard. So before we get into you, Gummy, just looking at that young players that you mentioned, so they're hitting 138 Ks now. How do you ensure that they develop more pace? Because from a bystander's perspective or coaches who can't see that, we're not too sure. How would that program work?
Dylan, it's for me. Always people say, well, guys or pace guys that can bowl quick are born. I still think the guys can be taught how to bowl fast. And for me, I know what needs to happen for a guy to bowl fast. So in terms of his technique and everything, so that's basically what I'm doing at the moment with these young players. During the lockdown, I've been sending videos to the young players to say, this is what we need to work on. So now that we're starting to work as a team, then those are the little things that I'm working on with the young players to make sure that they crank that 150 because we really need fast bowlers. And also the conditioning of the body as well. So the guys need to do the right stuff. When they run, they don't have to run on the hard surfaces in terms of the tar road and whatever. We need to run on the grass so that we don't cause those stress fractures that I've had. So when I look at my injuries, my history, it's things that I'm teaching guys now to say, guys, be aware of A, B, and C. Because if you do A, then this is what's going to happen. So if you do B, this is what's going to happen. So we're lucky in that regards. And I know I still get calls from the medical doctors now to say, Gami, can we take or can you allow us to use your information that was done for you years back, because we're experiencing what's happening to some of the runners now, because there are guys that are getting stress fractures and now they want to use that information and that's basically what I'm doing with the guys right now. So far it's working.
And you're doing a great job, coach. You're leaving legacy on and off the field. You must know when doctors phone you to say, listen here, this is important. We want to use it for the way forward. But talking about your bowling career, so you start taking it serious from 16. Then from there, everything starts just climbing and climbing. You burst onto the senior scene, and you this exciting prospect of South Africa and South African cricket. Your name and surname is on everybody's lips in the country, coming in 150 clicks. What was that like as you made that jump into a professional space?
For me it was tough in a way that I come from the rural area, which is Middle Drift, like I mentioned earlier on. When I got to PE, I would like to say I was one of unluckiest cricketer in the world, because my mates would go and be taken, and then on scholarships they will go to Grey High or they will go to all these Model C schools, but not me. So I was in the township school. So I was at Douglas and Mbopa. So people would say, well, if I want to make it, then I have to go to one of these schools. And I said, I don't have to. It doesn't matter where I come from, but I can make it. I will make it. But there were so many people that says, no, you're not going to make it. So for me, it was not to play for South Africa for 15 years, 16 years. For me, it was to say, guys, I just want to prove you guys wrong. It doesn't matter where I come from. I will make it. So when I made it, then I was so excited, and I did so well. And then I was like, well, what's next? Maybe that's why I decided to stop playing cricket so early. Maybe I could have, if my love was really into cricket, then maybe I would have stayed longer and try and fight the injuries. But my heart was always in coaching. So then that's when I decided, well, cricket is not working for me right now. So let me just go and do something that I really love, which is coaching. That's why I got involved with KFC, because I was part of I was an ambassador for
Yeah.
KFC for 4 years. I enjoyed that journey. I was in Durban today, and then I was in KEI this
Yeah.
other time. KEI kept on winning the competition, so we kept on going back with the Proteas in KEI. So I kept on asking the guys, "How do you guys do this thing?" But they had their own formula. Mr. Joko, he told
Yeah.
me how they do it. So we kept on going there. So I really enjoyed that journey, and and then up until I went to the Warriors, and then I couldn't do it anymore.
But it was good while it lasted, and I'm sure the kids, the players, the moms, the dads must have been over the moon to have met you and just had some time with you. I remember there's some videos of you bowling a bit and working with the youngsters. That must have been cool. You felt like you were at home.
Yes, I really enjoyed that journey, especially whenever we go to KEI. That's why I agree with Apilile now to say I would like to be part of your speakers in this seminar, because
Mm,
I remember the first time I was with KFC. We went to the school called Nomandi, or is it Nomandi? Nomandi. Yes, as those girls and boys, I couldn't tell between the boys and girls at that school. That's how good they were.
yeah.
We were so excited, and Sean was there with us as well. We were so excited, and then we came back again. They gave the Proteas a run for their money when we played at Kayamajola. So it was so exciting to see how the coaches in Kai, the work they were doing, even the principal of that school, he became the coach of the year. I remember that year
Mm.
at CSA Awards. It's amazing what these guys are doing, and I'm still wanting to go back and find out exactly what happened to those young players, because we took names. Sean, I think he's got those names with him. So I'd like to go back and look and see. And I know some of them, they've made uh, um, under 15s, under 16s, some were Kai under 16s, but I would really like to follow on that. Maybe they might be part of our academies here in East London if they don't
Yeah.
have academies here.
That's magic. You remember the schools, you remember what you were doing. I love that, Mfuneko. It shows the big heart and sincerity that you have. And you speak of Sean, and Sean pops up over here with a question. Knowing Sean, he probably still has those names. So hopefully he can pop it through to you sometime. But Sean has a question here. He says, Mfuneko, you've been all over Kai with Kids versus Proteas tour, and you've seen a couple of outstanding schools in the KFC Mini-Cricket program. How can you convince the high schools to play cricket and develop this talent? Because most of them only have a future when they get picked up by schools in PE and East London.
Sean, it's an ongoing challenge when it comes to a high school, because when it comes to mini cricket, it's easier because guys can play anywhere. But when it comes to high schools, then you speak of facilities. Do we have enough facilities for these guys to play? Especially the hardball is tough because you need to have a proper facility for that. So if then Apilile and them there at Kai can have more facilities at school level, or more schools,
Mm.
I think more schools will play cricket, especially hardball. We just need to fix that. If maybe KFC can sponsor us in terms of
I love it. Throw it
more
out there. Throw it
facilities.
out there. Throw it out there.
Yes, more facilities at our schools, then I'm telling you, we would be winning.
Nice. And you know what? Throw it out there, because if you look at the results, if you look at the way in which Kai has progressed over the years, the amazing work Apelile and you mentioned that other schools have been doing. There's merit towards it. But with a guy like you in Border, Mfuneko, lots of influence, we might be able to press the right buttons and go through the right channels to get it signed off. I got another
You never.
question here. Say again?
I'm just saying, you never know.
Never
Anything
know,
is
brother.
possible.
Coming in at 150 clicks, brother. Moving a bit. You don't know. So here's another question from Lita, also media-wise. Mfuneko, what advice would you give to coaches who are working with the kids who are still unsure about continuing with cricket over other sports? Keep up the good work at Border.
My advice to the coaches is just allow them to be themselves. Just keep making them enjoying the game. There's nothing we can do. If the guy wants to play rugby, there's nothing we can do about it. But if we do our part in terms of making sure that whenever they come to cricket, they get whatever they want. We give them all the information, all the knowledge that we have, and then you leave the ball into his court. He will be the one to decide. Because if we're gonna force the guys now to say, no, you must play cricket, don't do A, B, and C. As soon as we say don't, then they do the opposite. So just do what you can as a coach. Keep on advising, keep on being the father, because that's another thing that we as coaches now we have to do. Just become everything, become the coach, become the father, become family, everything. So yeah.
And then Mfuneko, I'm going to wrap it up with you. It's been amazing. I can chat to you for hours. I'm sure everyone else on the seminar can chat to you for hours as well. The comments coming through here, just speaking about how inspiring you are and how they love the work that you're doing. So there's lots of love. There's even a comment over here, Mfuneko. This was very funny. This started at the start of your chat. It was very funny. Someone's throwing in something here. I don't know who it is. Doom. I don't know if this is a gentleman or a lady. It says, looking cutie and Gum, your number, please. I don't know if you know him, Do.
I know him, Do. We work together. I know him, Do.
Okay, nice. Keeping you on your toes. Keeping you on your toes. But Mfuneko, you made such an awesome point where you spoke about people in your immediate environment said, look, because you're at the specific school that you're attending, you're not going to make it. But obviously you went up against all odds and proved that you're up there with the best in the world. Had a fantastic career, set the SA and international cricket scene alight. Then in 2000, you make your debut test-wise against New Zealand for the Proteas. That moment must have been so amazing, because it's that moment where you look back and went, guys, I told you, I had it in me, and now here I am. What was it like, man?
Yeah, Dylan, the funny thing about that first call up was that when I was growing up, I used to watch Alan Donald a lot on TV. Whenever cricket is on, so I'll only watch Donald, and I wanted to be like him, or if not better. And then when I got the call up from Dr. Ali Baha, he said, Gam, you on the standby for Alan Donald. And then I was like, wow. I remember we were in Durban, we were playing a 4-day match. So Eddie Burrell gave me a call, tea time, gave me a phone and said, there is someone who wants to speak to you. And then it was Doc, he said, well, you're going to be on standby for your hero then, which is Donald. And then I went there. And then on our way to the hotel, I was with Mark Boucher in the bus and Makaya. And then Boucher said, no, Donald is not even coming. So you're playing tomorrow. Wow. I was so excited and I was nervous at the same time. But I knew I was ready. So that first ball I bowled, I looked at the scoreboard, it was 148. The first ball, I was nervous, and then I kept on going. So on average in that game, I remember I was bowling at 148, 147, 149. So I was just excited.
It's quick, it's beautiful, and we loved it so much, man. And then just from your side, who's been either your favorite quick bowlers to bowl in partnership with, or like you mentioned, Alan Donald, anyone else that you really admire from a speed perspective while growing up or now?
At the time, it was Donald and Lance Klusner. And then I happened to open the bowling with Sean Pollock. So that was a great combination because he wasn't quick. So the guys will just leave me alone, and then they will want to play Pollock. Then that's when he will take all the wickets. But I did all the hard work on the other side. So. And then later on, it was Mackie Makaya. So he's the guy that I respect so much. He was in that environment for 10 years. He's a great of the game as well. So I kept in contact with him as well. He told me A, B, and C, Gami, you need to do this and that and that. And then after that came Monday. Monday was also quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had that that communication between the three of us, and we all came from Border as well. So well done to Border for producing those quality fast bowlers.
Yes, yes, it's magic. Absolute magic. I'm just thinking, did you and Mondi play at the same cricket club? Is it Willows, if I'm not mistaken? No? Getting it wrong?
No, he played for Willows. I played
Yeah.
for Good Hope. I played for
Okay.
Good Hope. It was not the same.
Okay.
So
Different spaces.
against each other.
Whew. Did he ever bowl to you when you were coming in at the back end? Did he ever bowl to you?
Nah,
Okay.
nah.
Okay, lovely
Even
stuff.
if he had to bowl to me, though, he would bowl half volleys, so he wouldn't bowl a bounce or anything. I would do the same to him. So we look after each other as fast bowlers.
Nice.
Same with my players. So we have to look after each other. So only
Good
the
man.
batters we wanted to kill.
Lovely stuff, Gabi. Okay, Mfuneko, as we wrap it up, you've been fantastic so far. Just going forward, you speak passionately about the KFC Mini-Cricket Program and your fond memories of being involved with it. Just your message to the coaches going forward, man. Anything you'd like to say to them?
Yes, now to the coaches, I'd like to say, coaches, keep up the good work that you're doing. You guys are not only the coaches, you guys are fathers and mothers of these young players that are coming through. And the work you guys are doing, it's amazing. It might not show today, but I'm telling you, in 10 years or 5 years or whatever, one of the kids that you are coaching now will come to you and say, thank you for what you've done for me. For making me love cricket at their young age. So they must just continue doing what they're doing, because at the end of the day, the reward will come, and they will be so excited about it.
Fantastic, Mfuneko. Fantastic, Mfuneko Ngam. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your wisdom, your knowledge, your insight, and for putting time aside to hang out with us today. Good luck with the season. I hope it's a successful one with Border, and good luck with the coaching career. We can't wait to see you just climb from new heights to new heights and keep on flying the flag like you've been doing since the start.